Hello, and welcome to another episode of Almost Enough Comics. I'm just chilling here with my production team, having some coffee, and I guess having coffee on a comic channel could be my hats off to another great channel called Earl Grey, for no particular reason other than that being a great channel. Let me put this away. Almost Enough Comics is basically just my comic haul series, and this time it was a very special one for me, as I broke one of my big rules that I don't usually do, and I'm still not sure if I did the right thing, but the future will tell. Oh, and by the way, if you watch all the way to the end, I will give you a bonus. I will show you my Death Star. Death Star is the place where most of my comics are, and I'll show you a glimpse of it at the end of the video, as I'm planning to do a comic collection tour. So what have I gotten this time? Well, it's another heavy pile, and it's actually again totally void of superheroes, but the section here is the thing that I mentioned you about. This is where I broke my rules of how to buy comics. And yeah, let's take a closer look at the whole pile, not the pie. And I'll explain what I mean about breaking my rules. The first comic is a big one. It's an omnibus of Witchfinder. This is a spin-off from Hellboy World, Sir Edward Grey adventures, and I'm happy they are continuing this series, although it's kind of not part of the main Hellboy storyline, as it happens much earlier. But this is one way to expand the Hellboy universe without changing the main story. I like the fact that they are trying to keep the whole history of Hellboy very logical and intact, and only put stories where there is an actual place to put them. And this is one way to do it. Just have a story that happens before the main storyline, prequel of sorts. Witchfinder is also the kind of books that I have only read them in omnibus format, so I have not read these in paperbacks before. Most of my Hellboy main storyline consists of trade paperbacks, but this I waited until I got the until they had the omnibus ready. I just hope that the story, the writing quality of it stays the same, although I have to say that the writing quality of Hellboy in general has been amazingly consistent. The next one is a strange one. It's by Humanoids. Robert Silverberg's colonies return to Belzacor, and this comic was previously available with this cover, and I think the name was Downward to Earth. It was not what it says here, so they changed the name and the cover for some reason. But I originally got interested because of this cover. There was something captivating about this very sad looking elephant creature, but now they changed it to this one. I don't know what is going on, but I did take a quick look inside already. I have to say that the art is really good. This looks really interesting and also very strange. Just by kind of looking here and there, I have no idea what's going on. That might be a good thing. Let's see. Next, another hardcover from Humanoids. Legend of the Scarlet Blades. I bought this just because of the cover. It's it has a cool looking characters with a samurai sword. That's all I know about the story so far, so not very deep into it. I already took a quick look inside of this also, and again the art is phenomenal, like this panel here. It's very detailed, very dynamic, and again, as I said, no idea what's going on there. Have to read and see. But the art already looks promising, so I know that at least that will get me to the end. As a book, as an item, it looks very well done. Okay, time to talk about rules of how to order comics. And Largo Winch made me broke my rule like this. I have had a rule that I cannot order the whole series in one go for some reason. Many times I'd like to, but whenever I start to do the actual order, I found myself just getting one, maybe two at most, even if I like everything in the series so far, and I kind of know that it's going to be good, most likely. And for some reason I can't make myself to order them. I just end up ordering few, and then I order many other things. But this series, Largo Winch, has been so good. I mean so good that it made me break that rule. Although I have to admit, it hurt me. I was thinking how many different other books I could order, you know, with the money invested here. I could have maybe a Conan adventure with these, and maybe a superhero with these, or you know, whatever. I usually like to read so that I just read a bit and then I go to something else and then I come back. So I did a plan. I will read only 2 books at a time, because 2 books makes 1 story arc in Largo Winch. So I read only 2, then I read something else, then I read the next 2 and something else. At least that's my plan. This series is available through Cinebook. They are the publisher of the English versions of it. And these albums are from 5 to 18. In reality, there are, I think, 24 or 23 albums, but the first ones, the numbers from 1 to 4, they were double volumes, so there was always 2 albums in 1 volume. That's why the numbers don't really match with the original French album numbers. And the way it goes with the Largo Winch, you have always the same story arc is done with the same type of lettering, so you know immediately that they are pair. You have to read both to get the whole story. And let's take a look inside as why I went overboard. I have to show you. It's just these unreal. They are so real that these are unreal. The art is phenomenal. It's so detailed that you will stop in every page to look at something. It might be something very, it doesn't have to be something massive. It's just like this car here. You just stop to see how well the details have been done. Everything looks real. Let me show you. There are some panels that I've been staring at, like these, or here. Great stuff, great stuff. And the writing is awesome, stories are really good, and the art is phenomenal. This is becoming one of my absolute favorite series of all time. That's not a small thing to say. I'm pretty sure I'll get back to this in greater detail later. And one more before we close. Jodorowsky, or is it Jodorowsky? I don't know how to pronounce these names, but for me it's been always Jodorowsky. I have quite a lot of comics already from this writer, but I had none of the stories included in this book, so it was very convenient way to get all of them when I saw that there is this type of book available. It's quite thick, it has the ribbon, hardcover, well done binding, and being Jodorowsky, I'm pretty sure it's going to be wild, imaginative, and absolutely insane at the same time. Okay, it seems to be very adult also, so have to be careful what I show here. But yeah, it's with Jodorowsky, you never know what's coming, so have to be ready for the unexpected. This particular library edition collects Hannibal 5, Megalex, and then there are selected short stories. I think they are from the Screaming Planet series that he did for Metal Hurland, or Heavy Metal in English. Yeah, I promised to show you a glimpse of my Death Star. Let's go and see that. Okay, that was my Almost Enough Comics haul this time. There's quite a lot to read here. Means that I will survive the next month easily. Time will tell if this was the right thing to do, having everything in one go, because at least now I have it and I can kind of move to the next thing. And I may come back and tell you how it went. But thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.